This is DJ.
This is Ish.
And this is
Season 8
of Pero Let Me Tell You.
We are live.
Okay, everyone. Estamos en vivo.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 328.
That's right.
Premiere episode of season 8.
Season 8. Yes, we are back in the studio.
Of Welcome Back, Cotter. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yes. And Junior, glad to see you again. We've had a little withdrawal symptoms with you, you know?
We had a great hug to kick off the new year. A month into the new year, but we kicked it off the right way, and it's great to reunite with you guys as well. And Ish, incredible shirt.
Well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but
by the way, Junior, for like a thinner framed guy, you give some really good hugs.
You really do. You give great hugs.
There's a lot of soul behind these two arms.
Yeah,
clearly. Okay, it's like,
mucho.
Yeah.
So how's everybody been? Welcome to season 8.
Yes.
We are 8 seasons in, pero let me tell you.
Sure are. And I just want to thank, 2025 so far for just nothing happening.
Nah, 2025, nada.
No natural disasters, no shootings, no administrative changes, nothing. We're status quo.
It's technically still January. And I feel we've been here about 4 years.
Yeah.
I feel we've been here 4 of the 8 seasons of Pero Let Me Tell You.
Yeah, I think I'm closer to retirement.
Oh, no. Do you know one of the things I did in January? I watched Dr. Zhivago 3 times straight back to back.
Well, yeah, because this January has lasted 4 years. So, yes, you were able to.
Okay, listeners, I've talked about this before. So one of my favorite movies ever is Dr. Zhivago. It's probably like top 5. And Dr. Zhivago is about the Russian Revolution and World War I set up upon the Bolshevik rise in Russia, and it's all set. The backdrop is the Russian winter, and this movie's like 3.5 hours long, and it's super boring and super slow, but I absolutely love it. It's one of these epic Hollywood films that it just takes about 5 years, and it's funny because the other day I was watching it and I Tristan noticed that it was on, and then he went and did whatever, and he came back like 3 hours later and he was like, "You're still watching the same movie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Dr. Zhivago. Yes. I'm going to be here a couple of years." No, and I watched it 3 days in a row, the whole movie. So one day I sat down to watch it.
Okay.
The next day I was working on my laptop, so I needed something in the background. And then the third day, I'm like, I haven't watched this movie with the director's commentary in a few years. So I'm like, let's do it.
So the only thing that lasts longer than the actual Bolshevik Revolution is Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, it was one of those days here in Miami where it was like really cold and it was rainy. Remember those days? Yes. All you wanted to do was be home. Yeah. So anyway, how is everybody? We missed you, our listeners, our Pero Primos. A lot of you reached out to us. When are you coming back?
Yep.
We love you all, but we
need a break.
We need a break, but we also said every time we do our last episode of the year, we're like, we will be back on so and so date.
And so far, we always come back.
Yes,
we've always come back. We're not like that father who goes out to get milk and doesn't show up.
Was that the thing in the 50s?
Yeah.
Is it because they just left with another woman, or they got murdered?
I'm assuming 50-50. I don't know.
Or they fell in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of ditch falling in the 50s.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
There was. Do you know what I just thought about? What? The scene of Rush when the car falls off the ditch and you see the wheels still turning.
Yeah, again, Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah, that's what I just...
Yeah, lots of ditches. And then in the 80s, we traded ditches for quicksand. For quicksand.
Listen... I mean, ditches for bitches. I mean,
that sounds like one of those really good gun exchange programs. Come on down to the police department.
I don't know why. I remember when I was a kid. This was like in the 90s. That the Tamiami gun show had this girl. She's like, "I'm Heather, and sure shooting."
Oh, I remember Heather. I do remember Heather.
Sure shooting, I will be at the Tamiami gun show.
Yeah, that was when we still had white people in Miami commercials. Yeah. Because now she'd be like, "I'm Heather." It's not the same.
No, yo soy Yuneki. Heather. Que Heather.
I'm unique, a chop shooter.
A chop shooter. Hi, guys. We missed all of you, and we're happy to be back. We do need a little break.
Yeah,
I feel you guys need a break from us too. A little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because even when we don't record this though, it's funny because you and I are still. There's no real break, but there's a break for us even.
Yeah.
Right? Because
so instead of seeing you 4 times a week, I see you three or
right,
2.
Right. So
sometimes one,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it's so lonely.
It does feel weird.
Yeah.
Like when we go stretches at a time without seeing each other.
I get so lonely. Yeah. So hurry. You know what I was going to say? Hurry Up Tomorrow, but that's the name of the Weeknd's new album. But hey, listen, we haven't been around in 2 months, so our listeners haven't gotten my weekly
weekend update.
Weekly weekend update.
Wait, that sounds like a sketch on SNL. The weekly weekend update.
The weekly weekend update. Every week. Every week we have the weekend update. Yeah.
Estamos comiendo tanta mierda. I love it. I love it. We're back.
This is Barbara Walters. This is 2020.
That never gets old.
No, 2020. You know that Barbara Walters is not having a moment.
Well, I mean, she's dead, so.
No, because a lot of people now are looking back at Barbara Walters' interviews and being like, she shouldn't have asked that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Ricky Martin, are you gay?
I mean, if she didn't ask, that damn Diane Sawyer was going to do it.
Diane Sawyer.
I was trying to scoop Barbara.
For some reason, the interview of Diane Sawyer I remember the most was her with Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley.
Not the one with Whitney?
Oh, yes.
I don't do crack, Diane. Crack is whack. I don't do crack.
Crack is cheap. I make too much money to make crack. I think of Michael Jackson first.
Really? And Lisa Marie.
I mean, you are right. I think the Whitney Houston one is...
I love the fact that all of our memories of Diane Sawyer interviews are people who are no longer alive.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's no way to come back from that one, is there?
Speaking of people that are no longer alive, so here's the thing that people, have to understand. Ever since we've been doing the podcast, Ish and I, when certain things happen or we're in certain experiences, we're like, oh my God, this is content for the show. Yeah. So now we live in this content, this constant, filing cabinet in our head of content for the show. So
the worst part is when it happens and we're not together,
right?
Because then we have to remember it.
Right.
Remember it. Yeah.
Right. No, that's why there's this new thing in WhatsApp. Well, it's about a year old or something where you could text yourself.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So I'm constantly texting myself.
Do you answer yourself?
Sometimes because it's follow-up questions or follow-up okay, I remember something. Okay, never mind. That's not what we were talking about. Okay, so first of all, I want to say that we're going to talk about somebody who passed away that both you and I loved very much, which was the mother of a very, very dear friend of ours. Yep. She's like a sister to us, and her mom unexpectedly passed away. And we were all very shocked because it was sort of unexpected. And
it was very unexpected.
By no means is this a sort of a thing on her memory. I think that she would enjoy that we're talking about this.
Are you kidding me? She's looking down on us and she's like,
Dale. In true sort of disclosure, when her daughter was here, which again is a very good friend of ours, for Christmas, we were talking with her daughter and with, sort of connecting with her that we wanted to shoot some content in her house because she had the perfect old lady Cuban house.
Yeah, we wanted to do cribs.
We wanted to do an architectural digest, welcome to my house. And it was a
one-bedroom apartment.
Ella todavía tenía el pomo de Ginatey en el baño con la muñequita esa with the dress on top of the toilet.
Multiple plates of Pope John Paul.
La pared llena de plato. El balcón lo tenía lleno de malanga. Yep. I mean, it was like the perfect old Cuban lady house. But unfortunately she passed away. So none of this is it's actually it's to sort of
it's in her honor.
It's in her
really
honor.
Is.
But
yeah.
So when she passes away, she had, she was older, but she had said that she wanted a celebration of life, that she did not want a funeral where people were crying, blah, blah, blah. She reached, an advanced age. She, her children were all grown. She had grandkids. I think she
had great grandkids.
Great grandkids. Yeah. So, she wanted people to celebrate her life. And that is exactly what her children did. Absolutely. So last week, we go to the celebration of life, Ish and I and all of our friends.
And to be fair, this was after the memorial in the morning at the church.
En la iglesia católica, Cultura y todo. Yeah. So, we got that out of the way.
Got that out of the way, yes.
We got that out of the way. But they wanted a celebration of life. So, again, Ish and I, our whole circle of friends are like our high school friends. And it's a lot of us. And this day it was an extended group because then there was like more high school friends that, we don't always see all the time, but we love nonetheless. And so we get to this celebration of life, which was in honor of this woman's passing. And all of our friends are there. And I swear to you that it looked like we were living the episode of Que Pasa USA from the funeral. One of our friends turns around and she's like, aquí está todo Sahue metido. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, this is the episode of Que Pasa USA.
Mixed with like a Quinces episode.
Right, because this was in a banquet hall. Yeah. It was in a banquet hall. And then, we were back and forth. And like one of our friends was like, tuviste en la caja de bacalao que van a enterrar a la vieja. And we were making all these comments, again, just like the episode of Que Pasa USA. And, and it was filled with like, oye, did you see so-and-so?
It was a total catch-up.
Yeah. ¿Tuviste lo que estaba aquí? Oye, tráeme un trago. I mean, I'm like...
It was perfect.
I'm like... I told you that day. I'm like, we are living a sitcom right here.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
We're living a sitcom, which, sort of, begs the topic of conversation, are like Cuban and Latin funerals. It really is a social sort of moment. It's like a social club.
It is. It's a reunion of sorts, unfortunately. I mean, people say it all the time. They're like, after a certain age, it's like, I only see you at weddings and funerals, and it really becomes that. And it's funny to me that as much of un show, quote unquote, like those velorios become, like those wakes, that we don't do this.
Right.
This celebration of life approach versus that. Because this is so, se presta más. And it's literally what you're basically doing it over here, just without benefit of like, a chicken cordon bleu and DJ music.
Right. Because the celebration of life was in a banquet hall. It was a proper party. It was in a banquet hall.
You said the best thing during it, though. Because, I mean, obviously, it was for someone who had passed away. And you were like, I keep waiting for the reveal.
Right.
But there is not going to be one because it's not a quinceañera. It's not a wedding.
Right.
It's like there's no reveal of somebody showing up.
What are we waiting on? Are they opening up the curtains of the stage? And like, what are we waiting for? Like, what is the big ta-da? Señoras y señores, aquí en el Illusions Banquet Hall en Fontainebleau. Por favor, de pies para honorar la difunta.
Damn it, that's what we should have done. That's what you should have done with the microphone.
I've said this many times. I've been very lucky in my life that I've accomplished a lot of things that I've set my mind towards. But one of the things that I have not accomplished is that I want to MC a 15s. But I want it to be like a really tacky ass 15s.
Like a traditional 15.
A traditional 15s. No fancy 15s. Like a traditional.
Yeah.
Where I get to say stuff like, what was the name of the quinceañera I made up in my mind?
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, you
always kind of pull that out of thin air,
right,
too.
Yeah, I was like, a Marisela le gusta hablar por teléfono con sus amigas. Su color favorito es el peach. Marisela quiere estudiar en la Universidad Internacional de la Florida psicología.
It's funny that none of these quinceañeras wanted to be a marine biologist. Why not?
Now I would say something like, a la niña le gusta estar en las redes sociales con sus amigas y le gusta el TikTok.
Cuando sea grande, quiere ser un foodie blogger en el YouTube.
Ajá. And then all her tías are like, foodie blogger, sí, pero OnlyFans, no.
No, OnlyFans,
no. Eso es una depravación.
Eso es
una depravación.
Eso es gentuza.
Yeah, speaking of OnlyFans, I've yet to... My mom still does not truly understand what OnlyFans is. And it's just fun to see her navigating, trying to figure out what it was. Because the other day, just like 4 or 5 days ago, I was telling her, listen, there's people who have OnlyFans. Like, for example, if you're a personal trainer, you could pay OnlyFans. So you could have either one-on-ones or you
get the routines.
Get a routine, or it's not always sexual. It's something that you pay. Like there's people who have OnlyFans for like knitting, for baking and stuff like that. But I was explaining to her that usually the people, especially here in Miami, that it's a capital of OnlyFans, it's sexual content. What she doesn't understand is that she doesn't understand the nature of the content insofar as that the people doing the content are usually everyday people. Right.
Okay, right. But so because it's not a, so I'm assuming by this inference of what you're saying, your mother understands like the concept of like a porn star.
I don't know if she understands the concept, but but that you could do it from your home.
Okay, that they're not going to like a studio.
Right, that it's a whole production thing, right? That you could do it on your home with your own phone, with your own camera.
A tripod.
Right, and I was explaining to her, I'm like, Mom, there's OnlyFans that it's like vanity shots.
Right.
Let's say of a woman in lingerie. Then there's some, people that are women that are topless, or whatever.
It's a spectrum.
And then there's, the full on,
the full Monty.
The full Monty, let's bang and let's go.
Yeah.
Right. And I love how they call it collaborations, right?
Oh yeah, it's all collabs.
Yeah, I'm collabing with somebody else.
Yeah, it's all collabs.
I'm like, I just thought it was a feature in a song. Usually that's when you collab with people.
Yeah, no, when you're putting organs inside other organs, I don't think it's a collab.
Yeah. Okay, I wasn't going there.
Hey, listen, I could have been way more vulgar.
You could have.
Okay.
But my mom truly doesn't understand though it OnlyFans. But every time that I tell her, she's like, la sociedad, qué depravación, la sociedad. And I'm like, Mom, this has always existed. It's just that people now are in control of it, whereas before they didn't.
Listen, the world's oldest profession is what?
Prostitution.
It's prostitution. I mean, like let's not kid ourselves.
I also think farming.
Yeah, but I think at some point farming was just like you just kind of gave it to people. It was like, oh, I have this extra strawberries. Here you go.
Right, but you still farmed.
Right, but you don't have like, oh, I just have this extra vagina here. Have sex with it.
Okay, that's not where I was going with that.
Right, but I'm saying it's not the same. Like,
Wait, how do you say it in Spanish? Campesino.
Campesino.
No, but how do you say cuando tú
cosecha?
Cosecha. That's a good word in Spanish.
That is a good word
cosecha.
in Spanish. That is a good word.
So, yeah. So back to the celebration of life.
Yes.
We thought
What did your parents, because I can only imagine your parents not really getting the concept.
My parents,
so to speak.
I showed my parents and I...
Oh, you did? Okay.
I took pictures and my parents were like, bueno, si eso es lo que ella quería, se le respeta y yo no juzgo y eso es lo que ella quería, pero yo no veo que eso es algo para estar contento y celebrar. And I'm like, that's fair enough. But I'm like, but at the end of the day, the kids gave her what she wanted.
Right.
And I'm sure that some of them probably were more
into it than others.
Right. Because at the end of the day, look, even when somebody passes away and they're young, they're older, you still miss that person and it's still a void in your life. It's still a very sad situation. But people handle that very differently.
Yeah.
But I
loved it.
It was just hilarious how again, we were there because it was like a funeral. We were there and it's like, oye, mira fulana. Oye, ¿cómo están los niños? ¿Y cómo está el trabajo? And I mean, the difference is that there was dancing. In this specific case, there were drinks.
Yeah, open bar.
Yeah, there was open bar. But I'm like, we were living an episode of Que Pasa USA. Like,
It was great. And I will say, when I go, I want something like that. I am not a sad person. I just have the damn party. I'm gone as it is. You know what? Celebrate me. And I will say, I hope that when it happens, I have.
Okay, we're going to talk about this, people.
I have a centromesa that is just as nice as this.
Okay, so
I like this.
This was a centro de mesa in the, here you go. It's centro de mesa at the celebration of life.
Yes.
So the centro de mesa and we're going to have to take this off eventually because it takes a lot of room.
It does take a lot more
room.
room
But the centro de mesa, you were the lucky, person who claimed it.
I claimed it.
So here's my question about like Cubans and Latin culture y el famoso centro de mesa. Does this happen in other cultures? I seriously want to know because all I know is that growing up, we used to go to like a lot of 15s and a lot of weddings and banquet halls. Y esta vieja didn't give a shit if they cut you up.
Oh, yeah.
They were taking the centerpiece.
They're more vicious than the bridal bouquet.
And there were some of these old Latin women that a lot of times in these banquet halls, like the bouquet or the flowers would be the centerpiece, right? But they were like on a pedestal or something that it belongs to the hall. They would take that. And I'm like, woman, that goes against the deposit of the bride and groom. But a Miriam no le importaba. Y a Zenaida, they were taking that centerpiece. Y estas mujeres se fajaban. I remember that it got to a point where they would have to put a number like under your chair or something,
it off.
and they would have to raffle the damn centerpiece.
They would raffle it off.
I'm just wondering, does this happen in other cultures, or is this like a Latin thing?
I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's an ethnic thing.
An ethnic thing?
I think it's an ethnic thing because I can see this also happening at like...
You think that Bridget and Chad in Connecticut are not fighting for the centerpiece?
Because they have their own lilies in their front garden.
Oh, okay.
So they don't really need that type
You're
of...
right.
Yeah, they're like, oh, those are lovely, but mine are award winning. So
my mom would always be like, "Qué lindo esos gladiolo."
Yeah, they don't need claveles. But when you're talking about like Latino, black, yes, ethnic folk, we are taking the centerpiece, damn it. Yes.
And we have to trample a baby, we will.
Damn right. You know what the baby knew what it was in for. Got in the way.
I love how like there was a table of like 10, 12 people who were like, I'm taking the centerpiece.
Yeah. I was like,
here you go.
Well, I also was taking it, number one, because I think it's pretty. I really do think it's nice. Also because it's not real flowers. It's durama. But also we needed a visual aid for our show today. So, like you said, everything's content.
I think what's also great about that centerpiece and the celebration of life we went to was that the color was purple porque San Lázaro. So,
yes, who I only recently, about like a year ago, found out wasn't a real saint. I'm still not over it.
Yeah, the Catholic Church. I mean, you're going to have to take that up with the Archdiocese in the Catholic Church.
I don't have time for that.
That's a big memo you're going to have to write.
Yeah, January is not long enough.
Oh my God. January has 95 days.
I think that January has the days that February got shorter.
See, why can't they give a day to... Well, I mean, it will be February 29th, and then on a leap year, February has 30 days.
Right.
It'll even everything out.
Yeah, I don't know how the Gregorian calendar works. I don't know who Gregor was. I don't know.
This doesn't happen in the Mayan calendar.
It doesn't happen in the Mayan calendar. You know what? They just keep going forward. Just chug along.
So, anyway, I'm wearing here my to start the year. I'm a
Burger Beast guy.
I am a Burger Beast guy.
Sure
We're Burger
we are
Beast guys.
We are. We absolutely are. Yeah.
We're giving a little shout out to Burger Beast because he's a pain in our ass, but we love him.
But he's our pain in our ass.
I know. Yeah. And he's legit.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of not legit people here in Miami.
Yeah, we're gonna but if we're showing our shirts, so I'm wearing a custom O-Town shirt, which you may notice has me on the side here.
Because I want it all.
Nothing at all. So I've told the story on here, right? But
we repeat many stories, and now we have a prop.
And we have a prop, and we have new listeners. So I actually got this over the holidays from a coworker. We had a Secret Santa. And the reason I got this is because when I started, I always use this as a nice little anecdote. Those icebreaker things where they're like, tell us an interesting fact about yourself. And I'm like, I don't want to do I have a podcast, I have a chicken, because that will come up eventually.
I have goals and aspirations.
Right. It's like my favorite color's light clear, I don't want to, say things like that. Right. So the story I always go to is how my freshman year of college, I auditioned for a boy band. And so, as you know, I went to that audition, which funny enough is how I also found out that they were getting rid of two of Destiny's Child's members.
You knew about LaToya and LaTavia before everybody else?
I did know about it before everybody else. So I went there for the audition. They had us... They had us learn. They split into two. They had us do choreography. They split us into groups. They had us do the choreography, which was actually to ladies, leave your man at home.
Because it's 11:30 and the club is jumping.
Right. So I still remember some of the choreography. So of course, so I passed that part. Fair enough, because I can dance. Then clearly I did not pass the singing part because I'm not a good singer. So, I went through that whole thing, but I did it number one because I had always said, like, I would audition for a boy band. I would audition for a boy band. Based on the timing of it all, it looks like it would have been O-Town. Right. So I always tell people, I'm like, I auditioned for this boy band that eventually became O-Town. Now, I don't have that as a fact anywhere.
It's a great song.
Listen, I like O-Town songs.
Do you know that this for many years was the most played karaoke song?
Really? It has a very long intro.
No, keep saying your story against the intro.
Okay. I'm like, I don't know when to jump in. So, I always tell people, I'm like, it was O-Town. I don't know this to be a fact or not.
It is.
It is. In my mind, it is. So now I have a shirt with me as a member of O-Town.
Okay, we have to zoom in on this.
I mean, it's literally me. But the funny thing is that it's O-Town back when they were like, 19 and me when I'm 44.
I mean...
So I'm like, it's more like the MTV. It's more like the MTV show Together that had the old guy. Yeah. So it's like, it's very interesting.
I mean, you fit right in.
Listen, this is a good Photoshop. I have to say when they did this together. So I actually told basically, so we did it was like a Secret Santa, and when I got it, I told
nothing at all. I mean, it's hard not to sing. There's nowhere left to fall. When you reach the bottom, it's now or never. Is it all? Or are we just friends? Is this how it ends? With a simple telephone call, you leave me here with nothing at all. Everybody,
put your riders up. And now that we've lost people for our caterwauling, people have just fast forward.
I think it's great that his name is Eric Estrada.
It is?
Yeah. And he's not Junior.
Oh, well, there's more than one Eric Estrada, I guess.
Okay, this is Ashley Parker Simpson.
Ashley Parker Simpson? I don't know. I think it's Ashley Parker Angel.
I don't know. Eric Estrada. Trevor. The new guy.
No, I'm the new guy.
No, you're the new guy, and then you replace. I forget his name, but he's the one that they told him he was a lab rat in front of Planet Hollywood. I watched Making the Band on MTV. I'm sorry, I did.
Maybe that's why I replaced him.
Jacob, that was his name.
Oh, okay.
That he was. There was an episode of Making the Band.
Jacob Underwood.
There was an episode of Making the Band where they were in front of the.
Jacob Underwood sounds like a character from Twilight.
They were in front of the Planet Hollywood in. I don't know if it's still there. The one in downtown Disney.
Oh,
that's like a circle.
That's not there anymore.
And they just told him off, and they were like, "You're a lab rat."
That's not even a good.
I don't know why I know that.
No, but I love that you know that.
Yeah.
I love that you know that. And then, so the Destiny's Child of it all is, so when we're there, they told us, they're like, oh, and tomorrow they're having auditions for a girl group because they're replacing 2 members. They didn't say who it was, but they're like, they're replacing 2 members. And it's like,
Michelle Williams audition?
I mean, well, for all I know, she might have been there, right?
So this would have been the end of 99.
Yeah, it was freshman year. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's 11:30 and the club is jumping.
And it was a little like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is a great story.
That is.
Can you imagine if you would have ended up in O-Town and I would have ended up in the real world?
We still would have met because of MTV.
Oh, yeah.
We
would have been friends.
Right, sorry.
We still would knew each other.
Sorry, I meant we would have been able to go to promo events together and stuff like that. Yeah.
Maybe you and I would have had a spin-off.
Oh.
And now that spin-off had run its course and
we would still be doing the podcast.
We are Aught stars.
Right.
We would have a podcast.
And we could also go to Aughts cons.
Right. Talking about our time in the aughts about MTV.
Although
O-Town as elder millennials.
O-Town was at 90s con. So I like that because they were at the tail end of the 90s. So I think
of O-Town as 2000s.
I agree with you. But
I mean,
they snuck in.
Yeah, they snuck in.
Yeah,
they're
the same way that technically Britney's 90s, but not really.
I don't think of Britney as
I don't either.
I don't think of NSYNC. You are right.
But on paper. Right.
On paper, they are that whole teeny bop thing.
Yeah.
That was technically 90s, but I think of
2000s.
I think TRL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, TRL was around in 99, but I mean, it's a 2000.
Oh, Mira, we could have had Carson on the show.
I remember there was a time I thought Carson Daly was like the coolest guy on earth. I'm like, you have the best job.
He did have the best job
ever.
And he dated like everyone.
He dated Jennifer Love Hewitt.
And Tara Reid.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Well, I'm just saying, no, but he listen, he got around, all right?
I'll never forget there was an episode of Jennifer Love Hewitt that she was on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and she was saying that for Christmas, Carson Daly got her an Easy Bake oven because she had never gotten one.
Aww.
So that's a great story. That's a great shirt.
That I love this shirt. Like I told the girl who gave it to me, I'm like, you win gift exchange.
Yeah.
Like no, just so you know.
No, and as you said, the Photoshop job is very well done.
Very well done. Yeah.
It's very well done. So
I love my O-Town shirt.
So I have a question.
O-Town, by the way, feel free to correct us if you see this on Instagram and this was not how you guys got together, like the story of
O-Town. O-Town, if you're watching this, please come on, pero let me tell you.
Listen, you've got some Latinos.
And you're from Florida. Yeah. I mean,
tailor-made. This place is, we have a big enough couch.
Enough studio now, yes, to have all of O-Town here. All of it.
Even Ashley Parker Simpson.
Ashley Parker Simpson, Ryan Cabrera.
Oh my God.
Oh, I did not like Ryan Cabrera. I'm like, who is this music for? Like
the same people who like Ashley Simpson. I don't know.
Really? I remember when Ashley Simpson came out.
We're not having Ryan Cabrera on the show.
I remember when Ashley Simpson came out, I was like, nepotism, she's only riding on her sister's fame. She can't sing. Until I found myself on a Monday, I am waiting. And I'm like, why am I singing this song?
Because you were waiting on a Monday. That's what you do. That's what happens when you wait on a Monday. Maybe we had songs around that time about days of the week.
What else?
Craig David.
Oh man.
Craig David.
Let me tell you
Simpson.
something. Craig David 7 Days is quite possibly the song that I've heard the most in my life. Well, I mean, you remember.
Yes, I do.
I mean, R&B,
and British.
I listened to that album of Craig David. I know you can't wear out CDs, but I wore out that
Damn
CD.
if you didn't try. Damn it if you weren't like, I'm going to give it a whole college try.
Man, that is such a good song. Monday, took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, chilled on Sunday. Okay, now singing for this episode.
So this is our musical episode.
There's something I wanted to sort of mention. This is really random. I remember when I was a kid, this would have been like late 80s, 90s. When I was a kid and I would get a cut.
Okay.
My mom me echaba mercucromo.
Yeah.
Why did that hurt more than anything in the world? It was pure pain. Entonces mercucromo, right?
No,
Te manchaba todo.
Yes.
Te manchaba
mentolato.
Y el mentolato.
Yeah.
Uno veía las estrellas when your parents would put that on a cut. Y manchaba everything. And then you would get it on your fingers and then you go to school with all these red fingers. And I think about it now. I'm like, weren't there other options in the 90s to cure a cut? Why did my parents? And then it was always in this jar that looked like it had been through like a war.
Okay, I've never to this day, I am 45 years old. I have never seen a new bottle of mercucromo.
Right. It was in this jar.
They sell them pre-used.
And then a palito that you would take out was like, looked infected. Yes. And you were using this to disinfect it. I'm like, Mom, Mama, Papa, you could have done the same thing con Neosporin, right?
I don't think we had Neosporin back then.
Or just put Vaporub on it. I'm sure Vicks Vapor Rub would have worked.
I'm sure it couldn't hurt.
Neosporin existed in the 90s.
I know, but okay, you know how things existed, but we didn't use them? I feel like Neosporin had like this, thing like late 90s, like O-Town.
Cool.
Like O-Town. It started in the late 90s, but really carried into the 2000s.
Oh, so Neosporin is a late 90s millennial thing?
I think it always existed, but it wasn't like in the zeitgeist,
Well, it definitely wasn't in the zeitgeist of my immigrant parents. Porque esa gente me echaban a mí mercucromo, and I'd be like, why? Like, death is probably not as painful as this.
What I love is that mercucromo was like this bright red that turned like a copper brown.
Yeah.
And then mentolato was always purple.
Yeah.
And then yodo was always like
yodo.
yellow. Like it was like an orangey yellow color. Like what is up with these like freaking, Powerpuff Girl colors?
Like now you go to the Walgreens or whatever, and there's a whole aisle of like, bandages and ointments and disinfectants. And somehow we had this mercucromo everywhere. I remember that one time I had a cut in my hand and, whatever, my mom put like, 4 cups of it on my arm, and in the pain I got in my fingers, and then I got on my face, and then I had to go to school the next day because that lasted. You had la mancha de mercucromo. La mancha de mercucromo lasted like 5 years, right?
Oh, yeah.
It just wouldn't go away.
That's what's on the table.
It just wouldn't go away. But you know what? Now that you're saying about it, I've never seen a new bottle of it.
They don't exist. They don't exist. I don't know if it's everybody only sells used bottles or if they purposely put it through like some type of process.
The label was always falling apart.
Siempre está todo like manchado. It's always torn.
Wait, do they even sell that anymore?
They do.
They do.
I've seen seen the bottles, but I've never known anybody to buy one. I've only seen old bottles at home.
Yeah. Y después si tenías de te echaban Bengay.
Yes, bueno, claro.
They didn't know it was Bengay.
No,
Bengay.
It's one word.
Bengay.
Bengay. Like Benghazi. Bengay.
Bengay.
Yeah.
Bengay.
Bengay.
Do they still have that parquet butter? Remember that the commercials, it would go parquet.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think so, because I don't think we're big on margarine anymore.
That is another thing. The 80s and 90s were big on margarine.
We liked oil-based products.
Y Crisco.
Yes. Like my grandmother would always be like,
wait.
Una tostada con hielo y margarina.
Wait. Wait. Where did margarine go? Where has all the margarine gone? Parquet. Wait. People don't use margarine anymore.
No. That's because people are vegans now.
Wait,
I don't know.
Country Crock is margarine, though.
Is it?
Is Country Crock margarine?
I
think it is. It's not butter.
If it's not butter, it has to be margarine.
And I can't believe it's not butter. So it's margarine.
I mean, we can't believe it's not butter, but it is.
I think it's margarine.
Country Crock is neither.
Wait, what?
Margarine nor butter.
What is it?
It is a plant-based spread made from vegetable oils such as soybean oil and palm oil. Does not contain any dairy and therefore is suitable for vegetarians and people with lactose intolerance.
Stop. So you mean to tell me that Country Crock has been vegan before vegan was a thing?
Yep. And that is why they only sold one thing and you kept a plástico
forever.
For the rest of the time.
Forever.
Porque se enteraron. Y esto no es ni margarina ni mantequilla.
It's neither fish nor fowl.
Look at my parents being vegan in 1992.
Your parents were like hipsters. Wow. Did you live in Brooklyn?
Oh, yeah. Margarine. Like I'm gonna tell my kid, do you know what margarine is?
He's probably gonna ask which of your friends is that.
Where has margarine gone for real? Was there like a recall on margarine? I also feel that in the early 90s, Pepperidge Farm was a bigger deal.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I think it went downhill after the guy with the glasses died.
Yeah. I thought those Vienna cookies were like really fino.
Listen.
You have that in a piece of Viennetta, and
God.
I mean, you were bougie.
You're in another tax bracket. I mean, and if you bust it out with the international coffee, forget it.
Oh, no. And the Grey Poupon?
Oh. La casa por la ventana.
Do you know what was one of the biggest lies of my life when I found out that Cool Whip it's like oil. It's like whipped up oil.
It's like margarine's cousin.
Yeah. Cool Whip is not dairy based. And I'm like, no wonder this tastes like crap.
Well, there goes our Cool Whip sponsorship.
I would always when I was a kid, I would always interchange. My mom would always interchange between Cool Whip and whipped cream. I don't think on purpose. I just think that she
was on sale.
What was on sale or what she got. And I remember, cuando me daba un dulce with Cool Whip, I'm like, why? Like, this is not good. And then when it would be whipped cream, I'd be like, this is a good one.
And then she would give you mercucromo.
And then, she gave me ice cream because I had una cortada de
Una cuenta con mentolato.
Con mentolato y mercucromo. Oh my God.
How much disinfectant did you need on that thing?
I was a kid on a bike. I'm sure you needed
true.
to.
Yeah, all the scrapes.
That's another thing. Kids don't scrape themselves
why
like
don't
they
kids
used to.
scrape like they used to? Welcome to Old Man Corner. On
You know
Better Let
what?
Me Tell
You know another thing? They don't have Band-Aid commercials anymore either.
They don't have.
They don't. They used to have Band-Aid
Yeah,
commercials.
no, I'm stuck on Band-Aids because Band-Aids stuck on me. Yeah. They don't.
They don't have Band-Aid commercials anymore.
I feel like people don't need to be told about it anymore. We know it's there.
Oh, we needed to be told about bandages in
because
the 90s?
I think there was bandage technology revolution in the 90s where like it didn't
You're
hurt.
making that up,
I'm
aren't
totally
you?
making it up. But where like it probably didn't hurt as much when they would take it off as it used to in like, the 50s when people would fall in ditches.
Wait, but what did the Band-Aids have in the 50s? Like crazy glue? Like,
Rubber cement? I don't know what the hell. you know adhesives were probably better
actually,
then.
you know what? I'm glad you mentioned rubber cement. Have you ever... This is a serious question. This is...
Yeah. All right.
This is a serious question. Okay, seriously. You, Junior, our listeners, have you ever successfully glued anything with rubber cement?
No.
No.
Nope.
¿Para qué sirve eso? What is it good for?
Getting high. That's it.
I remember I would brush and it kept falling off.
Se empegostaba todo.
After like 2 layers, it became a paste.
It was nothing but inconvenient.
It feels good to be back, people.
It really does.
Look, we're all laughing at it because it's true. It's a shared experience. Rubber cement no servía para nada.
Yeah, why does it exist? Like, who's going to pick rubber cement over a glue stick?
Wow. That's because you know what? It used to be, and it is still, the greatest glue ever is Elmer's glue.
It's true. It's true. I don't know who Elmer is and his little borden vaquita, but yes.
La goma.
La goma.
I think the intention was in the name more than anything. Like this sounds really cool,
Right.
If it were true.
It's rubber.
Rubber cement.
Rubber cement.
I do know rubber cement used to get used a lot by newspapers when they were doing their layouts, because again, so you could just kind of pull it on and off.
Okay.
So when they would do their layouts, they would use that a lot for the
But somehow
spreads.
that made it to every store, and this is our standard for adhesive now.
Listen, I can't explain that and mercucromo, okay? All right? Like, we're still trying to figure out where the hell margarine went.
We should do a wanted post. Where did margarine go? Where's the bounty for margarine? Where did the margarine go?
Honestly, I think we just came up with a campaign for somebody to do some plant-based
Oh
shit.
my God. Do you know that it wasn't too long ago? It was maybe like 2 months ago that I was in the supermarket and I realized they took the Native American off the Land O'Lakes cover.
Oh, they did?
They did. It's just the sunrise now.
Oh,
You know the sunrise I was behind her?
yeah. Oh, so the sunrise is front and center now.
Yes. I'm like, oh, she's not there anymore.
She finally stood up.
Yeah, she left.
She left. She went to go find the margarine.
I mean, it was next to her all along. Now at the supermarket they have Irish butter, European butter. You know those colonizers.
Yeah, it's all colonizer butter.
All
Colonizer dairy products
because the margarine left and the colonizers
took over. The Land O'Lakes girl had to leave.
You would have seriously, back to margarine. You would have thought now that in this era of veganism that margarine would have had a comeback.
Yes, that makes total sense. It should have. But I think it's because everything is like plant-based now. Like nobody wants oil-based. Because margarine was just oil.
Right, but you still need sometimes oil.
Right, but on your toast?
No, where are you going to saute your vegan vegetables?
Oh, they probably just use Pam. I remember when spray oil first came out. It was like a big deal.
So I remember when spray oil came out too, but my mom, who is not the cook, used it wrong.
Wait,
Okay.
what did she do? There's only one use for it.
So my mom used to buy PAM when I was a kid, and she just thought that it was oil that came in spray form, meaning she would spray it on the pan for like 2 minutes until there was a pool of oil, and then she would cook the food in that oil. She didn't really get, they were immigrants.
So
she didn't really, they were new here.
She was trying to fry something, basically.
Right. She was trying to fry something in PAM. Like, it sort of went over her head that you just sprayed it as an alternative to oil. So I remember she'd be like, and then that PAM empieza a hacer espuma.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay. This is why at 14 I put my foot down and I go, today is the last day I'm eating home cooked meals.
I think we should go buy 75 cans of PAM and use it for bean bump oil like that. Just spray that into the fryer.
Yeah, 75. We would need like 750. No. Now my mom uses PAM by properly.
Okay, she read the directions in the back of the can.
I mean, she doesn't really use it, but she knows now that it's...
Okay. Que no es manteca.
Que no es manteca.
No pa freír.
That's such a great word, manteca.
It really is.
Manteca. It's so much better than grease.
Yeah, grease is just a musical.
Yeah, I know it's the word, but
Yeah, but manteca is manteca.
Manteca.
It's interesting though, because in Spanish, it's not grease, it's vaselina, the musical.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, do you think that they're going around, mira, te gusta el musical manteca?
Okay, but they can say grease.
No, it's vaselina.
Okay, hold on.
What about grasa?
Grasa.
That's
Okay,
even worse.
grasa would have been grasa would have been more appropriate. So they go Vaselina lightning.
I'm pretty sure they also translate the word lightning.
Relámpago.
Relámpago.
Vaselina relámpago. Dale Vaselina relámpago, dale.
Oh man, it messes with the flow of the music.
Wait, does Vaselina the music? All the music is in Spanish then?
So when they do these musicals globally, not just in Spanish,
Yeah.
they do translate the songs. So like Wicked, when the movie
Déjalo.
what is that?
Wicked, let it go.
Well, that's Frozen.
Oh, that's Frozen. Frozen.
But in Wicked, like there was this clip that was going viral when the movie came out of the Mexican production, and they were singing popular in Spanish.
Soy popular.
Yeah. I mean, that one's the same word, but you know what I mean? They change the lyrics to the language that you're in, the country that you're in.
So do they say gravedad? Is that how you say gravity in Spanish?
Okay, I don't think they're literal translations. So like, no, gravity, I don't know how you say like gravity.
Es gravedad.
No, because gravedad is something that's grave.
grave.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know how gravity, like, physics, I don't know what that's called in Spanish, but it's also not always a literal translation.
Well, but then the song doesn't have the same meaning.
Well, I'm sure it has the meaning in Spanish that they need it to have to get you the gist of
How
it.
the hell do they do Little Shop of Horrors? La pequeña tienda de horrores.
Yeah. La tiendecita de horror.
I mean, if it was in Miami-based, I would just call it La Casa de los Trucos.
That would be great. La casa de los trucos.
And you go to the Casa de los Trucos and the plan is there.
Yeah, well, are we sure it's not?
Sure.
Haven't been there in a while.
I remember I used to be afraid to go into the Casa de los Trucos. I was a little afraid.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's very mysterious in there.
It's the house of tricks.
I was there. It was very mysterious in there, and you have to be an OG Miami to know. Yeah. It was mysterious in the Casa del Truco, and it was also mysterious in the pet shop or animal store on Coral Way in 87s inside the Westchester Mall, where they used to sell reptiles, amphibians, and puppies. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Of course I know what you're talking about.
I remember being a kid, and I used to go buy my goldfish there. And there was this guy buying these cute little rats. And I'm like, oh, look at how cute the rats are. And he's like, yeah, those are for my snake. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, don't you just buy snake food? Like,
yes, he does. The rats.
Does that come in a can? Like,
like margarine?
Yeah. Do you remember when you used to go, like, this is a total 80s and 90s thing. When you used to go to like the big department stores and they used to sell the fish in the back and it was in a dark room.
Like at Kmart.
Yes. And it was like in a dark room.
Yes. It was nice and cold.
It was also mysterious in there too.
It was like a grotto.
Yeah. I don't know why it was mysterious in the goldfish room.
But it was.
But it was.
It was. It was always dark. Why was it always dark?
I don't know. They want you to see the goldfish.
But I mean, Why does it have to be so
Whereas
dark?
now when you go to like Pet Supermarket or Petco, it's like
Un farol.
un farol, like in HD lighting, and look at our tropical fish selection.
They cannot put too much of a light on it.
I feel that fish have also gotten a little bit more elaborate.
Like,
when I was a kid, I used to have 3 goldfish
okay,
in a bowl.
right,
That's all I had,
okay,
and I had them for a while.
right.
Tristan had an aquarium for a couple of months or for a couple of years. And like, I had to check the pH balance of the water. I had to get the water tested.
my God, yes.
Yes. And I had to put like a bacteria, stimulant and the temperature, and they had to have a constant filter.
You're
and I'm
right.
like, my 3 goldfish lived in a bowl.
You're right, Mira.
Then I got gravel.
When I worked at Carnival, I had literally on my desk in a little bowl a fighting fish. No filter, no nothing. Eso era agua, and I would throw things in there. A couple of years ago, Jose's wanted a pet, but where we live, you can't have pets. So I got him a fish for his birthday, and he always said that whenever he got a pet, he wanted to name it Xiomara, so it was Xiomara the fighting fish.
That's awesome. And Xiomara would probably be a fighting
Xiomara would be a fighting fish. Well, Xiomara didn't last 2 weeks.
No.
But again, we did the pH, we did the filter, we did everything.
And it was a fighting fish. Xiomara died?
Xiomara died. The thing died. And it's like, I used to have a fighting fish with like barely... I wouldn't even be there 2 days out of the week.
Yeah, in office.
And it lived.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think now they specially breed goldfish to be even, or tropical fish that you buy at the pet stores to be even more like susceptible to just like air.
Esos son pescado chino que no sirven para nada.
Shh, don't say those racist things on Pero Let Me Tell You.
Oh, I meant like in terms of like, when you buy things at the Dollar Tree.
Temu?
Like Temu, like, Chinese products.
Is it Temu or is it Temu?
Listen, I still can't figure out if it's Shane or Shein.
Oh my God. I have a Temu story.
Okay.
My dad is on Temu.
Is he just buying things, or is he just
He is buying
like
things.
browsing?
He is buying things.
He's buying things.
So
Your parents are the gift that keeps giving.
listeners, you're gonna like this one. So especially for like people that grew up in the 80s and 90s. So as in any good Latin household, you have to have rice.
Of course.
And the king of all rice makers was Hitachi.
We made a shirt about it.
Hitachi. But they don't make Hitachi anymore.
Right.
Or at least they don't sell it in the United States. My parents have been on like a 20-year journey to find a rice cooker that was as good as Hitachi. So they go through rice cookers like all the time. And every time they buy a new rice cooker, they're like, esto no sirve para nada. Esto es horrible. Quema el arroz. And they buy another rice cooker. So I remember that one time, not too long ago, they bought a rice cooker that looked like a CD player. And it even had like the buttons of like a CD player. And I'm like, are you going to load 10 CDs in this, or are you going to cook, white rice? So he bought hace poco a rice cooker from Temu or whatever. Okay. And he got it. And like 2 weeks later, he threw it away. He's like, esto no sirve para nada. And I'm like, wait, you thought you were looking for the perfect rice cooker to replace the gold standard of Hitachi, and you thought that you were going to find the rice cooker on Temu? Like,
how much
really?
Did you pay for it?
I don't know. I don't know how much he paid for it, but I mean, how much is it? Like $5.99?
Yeah, everything's cheap, yeah.
Whatever. So I just feel that, like, if there is anybody out there who has un Hitachi, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Hitachi, contact us at Pero Let Me Tell You podcast at gmail.com. We will buy it off of you because my father, especially him, he is constantly like, esta arroz no sirve. And damn it, they don't even sell those old Hitachis on eBay.
Really?
No, I mean, at least what I'm checked. I mean, maybe you check now, there's one. But, that's another thing. Like, Hitachi was always, like, beat up,
Yeah, nobody ever had a new one.
No. Did they even exist new?
I think they were sold at the same place as the mercucromo bottles.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Why would they get rid of Hitachi? Do you know, whoever decided to get rid of Hitachi, do you know what you did to Latin families?
Honestly, I think it's like a crime.
We've had subpar rice, for 2 decades. I think that's racist. I mean, it's borderline racist.
It is. We're gonna file charges.
Yeah.
We are. We are. And emotional distress for the Nochebuenas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not the same.
It's not. And you know what you did.
Yeah.
And it was on purpose.
So Hitachi, bring back Hitachi.
yeah.
That's another thing. Hitachi and Itachi
Are not the same thing.
No.
No,
And it's
they're
La
not.
Hitachi.
Right.
La Hitachi.
La Hitachi. Yeah.
She has a personality.
Well, I mean, you've seen it.
Like,
course
what
she
color
does.
was yours?
It was like that weird off yellow color that you could tell was never actually yellow and brown. It was like
I think that was the color of my parents. No, I know it was.
I think that's the color they all came in.
It was like a 70s, 80s
Yeah,
color.
like it was very 70s kitchen motif looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the one they had forever. That thing looked like it went through a war as well with the bottle of mercucromo.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a set. That's how you bought it.
They went into the battlefield together.
Exactly.
La Hitachi and the little bottle of mercucromo. Is that what they sounded like?
I like to think so.
So how is everybody? Are you almost at work?
I think so. I think everybody's almost at work, and I think they're loving the fact that we're back. And we are. You know what? I love the fact that this episode we've just been like
we've talked about nothing.
we've talked about absolutely nothing. But you know what? That's exactly the best way to start this season.
Yeah. No, there's been a lot of
There's going to
things.
be enough happening for the rest of the year.
We've said this many times. We know there's a lot of things going on right now.
And we'll touch on certain things as they come up.
From everything going on in politics and in government to the LA wildfires. The news, it's all over the place. There's a lot going on. And you can find that content just about everywhere.
Right.
But here at Pero Let Me Tell You, we're going to continue to keep it fun, breezy, light. We know why you guys come tune to us. You listen to us to listen, laugh, and learn, and have a good time and smile. And all of you have been so gracious to us in 8 years, 8 seasons.
That's crazy.
And telling us how we make your day better and how you crack up listening to us. And we laugh about it here, but we do take that very seriously. So even now in 2025, whatever challenges we have up ahead, we're going to keep it light and we're going to keep it moving.
Yeah, we're going to keep, and look, like we always say, it's not that we're not going to ever talk about certain things. I mean, I think that if the wildfires had happened while we were actually recording, we would have mentioned it and we would have talked about it because we also have a lot of people out there.
Yeah, we have a lot of, actually, we posted it on our Instagram. We have a lot of pero let me tell you family, that have been on the show, that have become very good friends with us, that are out there and we're like in danger.
Right.
We're in the
in the crosshairs of it. So, so we'll touch on things as we see fit, shall we say, but are we ready for a last soda?
We're ready for a last soda.
Are we wrapping it up for the last soda of it all?
The first last soda.
The first last soda of 2025.
Well, my last soda is to 2025.
Oh, okay.
So it's an odd number year, so there's no Olympics. That's how I always think about it now. Since
Okay.
I'm an Olympophile.
Okay.
There's no Olympics, and it's an odd number year. And, I just like even number everything more. Are you into evens or odds?
It's a very odd question in and of itself.
So odds?
I kind of like odds, but I like odds for
Of course you like odds.
No, but I like
Why?
odds. No, I like odds for a very mean
Because your
reason.
favorite number is 49.
No.
Why?
It's because whenever there's an odd number of people in a picture, you can always arrange them more fun.
And there's a middle.
Right. There's always like that, you can get like a triangle or you can get like a pyramid. It's always, lends itself.
That is why you like odd
I
numbers.
really do. I like it. It's because I grew up on, girl bands and boy bands.
That is why you like odd numbers.
Yeah. Think about it. Even Destiny's Child eventually had to get rid of one of them.
Well, they got rid of 2 to get 1 to stay odd.
Right.
And now they all come back. They're 5.
You see?
Really 6.
They've done the math.
Really 6.
Yeah, that's true.
That Farrah girl that was there for about,
10 minutes. Yeah.
10 minutes. I mean, she was there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think she was there for like right after the audition that took place after mine.
Yeah. She's
And,
still
yeah.
looking for her luggage.
Yeah.
That's a joke. You've never seen that viral clip?
No.
There's a viral clip of like that. I think it was like her last day in Destiny's Child that she wanted to go home. And her luggage, something about her luggage was lost. And Beyonce's like, well, girl, if you need to go, like, don't worry about your luggage.
Oh, wow.
It's like something about that. It went viral. So yeah, my last soda is to 2025, our 8th season. We could give sodas to ourselves.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
It's our show.
And listen, this is going to be our first full season with Cultura Media.
That's true.
So there is going to be a lot that
is true. Wow.
So Junior, you have us for 48 more episodes. It's crazy crazy that we do. It's actually like 45. It's crazy we do 45 episodes a year.
More.
Well,
I'm saying, like, if you think about it,
but it's crazy we do 45 weeks. 45 weeks sounds like a long time.
Because it is.
Yeah, it's 7 weeks short of a year.
Well, yes.
Right? That's a commitment. So that's to us. A soda to us.
Soda to ourselves for the commitment of it all. So I'm actually going to give, because I know, the new year has started and there's just been a lot of like craziness going on. And even on social media, I know there's stuff, like, it's overwhelming, right? But what I am going to recommend is on Instagram, there is a page I've started recently following, like in the last week, called Live from Snack Time. And it is hilarious and wholesome kid quotes. So some examples.
I thought it was going to be about your favorite snacks.
So, for example, Zena, who's 5 years old, is quoted as saying, "Ugh, why can't I just be a mermaid?" Griffin, who's 3 years old, said, "Can you peel the rest of my banana for me? My other hand is relaxing."
I like that one.
Maddox, who's 6 years old, said, "Excuse me, is LeBron James real?"
These are great.
Sylvie, 4 years old, said, "The only thing that matters about me is if I can eat snacks or not. So if I can eat snacks, then I'd love to go with you guys." And you know what? I'm here for Sylvie. So it's things like that. It's just so fun and wholesome and just cute. We could all use a little bit
What's
more
your
of
favorite
that.
snack?
My favorite snack. I hate the
Junior, what's your favorite snack?
That's such a complex question for me.
Right now, I would say it's toast with peanut butter, banana, and honey.
Very Elvis.
Wow. I wasn't expecting
at
that
all.
elevated snack
At all.
I thought he was going to tell me Reese's Pieces or something.
Well, my favorite chocolate is Reese's.
Okay.
I love Reese's Pieces, but only at the movies.
It tastes different when you're in a Regal cinema.
It
Well,
does.
that's a different question there.
Yeah.
What is your snack at the movies? That's a different question.
That's why I like when he said, "What's your favorite snack?" I'm like, it depends.
Because
Like,
I get the cookie dough bites at the movies.
see, I love cookies. I don't like cookie dough things.
And I don't like cookie dough things, but
You know,
I like those
now
cookie
that we're
dough bites
talking about
specifically.
movie theater snacks, what I've never quite understood in the movie theater when they give you, the huge thing of popcorn, why don't they give you a second bag so you could put the popcorn in there and then you could layer the butter? You put a little bit butter, a little bit butter, a little bit.
You're giving
butter.
way too much credit to the people who work at the movie theater.
Because it's like, how am I supposed to get in this tub of popcorn? How am I supposed to get that little thing of butter?
Maybe you can ask them for like a little condiment cup and just keep it there and drizzle it in as you go.
Right.
Hey, listen, I'm offering solutions.
Right. How am I going to get that all the way to the bottom of it? Oh, which by the way, that's not butter either.
Is it margarine? Is that where it went?
It's some oil flavored something or other.
I mean, it doesn't look like butter, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, I don't believe it's butter.
no. Do you think it's parquet?
So questions that we had in this episode.
Yes.
Where did margarine go to?
Yes.
Why didn't we have Neosporin in the 90s, even though we did?
Right.
Why is mercucromo in
Always-
such a bad state?
Yeah, it's always looks used.
Why did Hitachi stop selling rice cookers in the continental Americas?
Yeah, our episode today was like the unsolved mysteries nobody asked for.
Now, if anybody has answers to any of these questions, please write us at peroletmepodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, everybody, for better, for worse, that was episode 328, right, Junior? 328. So this is fun. I missed doing this in the last 2 months.
It's like riding a bike. You never forget how.
Well, we've been doing it for 8 years. So, if we forgot now, like,
Yeah,
nos dimos la cabeza. Nos dimos un
that's a
cocotazo.
sign of Alzheimer's.
Un cocotazo.
That's another great word.
That obviously came from getting a coconut on your head.
Oh, no, clearly. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's no other.
somebody in some part of... Do other
Caribbean?
people say that? Other than Cubans?
Cocotazo?
That sounds like a Caribbean thing.
It sounds Caribbean. I'm going to go with Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some...
Anywhere with coconut trees.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure if you translate it from some like Polynesian island, they have a word
Right,
for
yeah.
it too. Yeah.
Ay, que rico. The Mai Kai.
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go.
I know.
I love me anything tiki.
I mean, I love that you do, but it's so
Why don't I look like a tiki person?
you just don't.
I don't, right?
You just don't give off tiki vibes.
I don't give out tiki vibes.
You don't.
But I do.
But you love a tiki.
I love a tiki. Give me something in a tiki cup.
He loves a tiki cup, a tiki hut, a tiki. I mean, just
give me that, Polynesian food. Give me some tacky ass wallpaper, and I am a happy guy.
You are.
I love the enchanted tiki room at the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In the tiki room. In the tiki. The last time I went there with my kid, he's like, "Why are we here?"
It's a very deep question for the tiki room.
Why are we here? This is so boring, and I'm like, "Shh, the parrots are talking." Okay, everybody. That's enough nonsense for today. On that note, we hope everybody has a great weekend. We hope you listened, laughed, and learned. Although in this episode, it was all about questions.
So you learned what to ask.
Yeah, we hope you listened, laughed, and learned. And remember to, in 2025, to grab your croqueta, your pastelito, and your cafecito. And thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a great week. It was great to be back. Yes. See you next week.
Cuídense, mi gente. Bye.